Well, we're halfway through the week, but not for the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. This is our last day this week because we're going to be off tomorrow through Sunday. So we're starting the holiday weekend early here, but we got one more show to do, and that's this one. And here we go. The Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast brought to you by our friends at Amazon. If you shop on Amazon, use our referral link that's on the descriptors of this podcast, because if you do, then they throw us back a little bit of coin and we can keep the podcast commercial free. So it's really easy and it doesn't cost you 1 cent out of your own pocket. So we do appreciate the fact that some of you have actually done that. And thank you very much. So shop our referral link on Amazon. And Tempest by Weatherflow. Mine got down to 45 this morning here in North Georgia. Get the revolutionary Tempest weather system. Join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link for this is pinned to the top of the chat board, as well as on the descriptor to this podcast. Use that coupon code that Joe Rayo knows. What's the secret code, Joe?
Summer 2025.
And if you do, you will get
10 big % off. Yes. You topped me by 10 degrees.
Oh, did I? So, but you have yet to break under 50 all so far.
We've had lows so far this season, as low, I think up here is like 53 or 54, but
right.
We've yet to get to below 50, and today was 55.
Okay, so
which was okay.
Yeah, so right. Yeah. I know last year you beat me at a couple of times to the thresholds, but this time around, I got you. I've broken under 50, so the next threshold to go for is the under 40 threshold, which we're not going to do now. But I have to tell you, I mean, just downright beautiful today. The high was 74, blue skies and sunshine pretty much from start to finish. Hardly a cloud in the sky. It was an almost picture-perfect day. And we still have another dry day or so ahead of us for me here. Except for Friday, where you may see a shower or two, or maybe not, but they're going to be scattered, I think. After that goes by, you're in cruise control through at least next Monday.
At least next Monday. Joe, I think we may be in cruise control in terms of dry weather, maybe all the way out till the middle of next week, I think. But you're right. We may see a shower or two, if that much, with the next weather front coming on by in the wee hours of Friday morning. And during the day, we're going to be right on the cusp, I think, of seeing precipitation. It might be a shower or a sprinkle or a spritz into the afternoon, but even if you're caught without an umbrella, no big deal. It isn't going to make much difference. There's not much of a real problem weather-wise in terms of precipitation on Friday. And actually, we could use a little bit of precip now. It's been rather dry. And then we move into the holiday weekend, and it looks like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday look very, very nice indeed.
Yeah. Weather in most of the eastern part of the United States on the quiet side, but we do have a few things going on that we want to get to. Just before we do that, just to remind you that we are going to be off tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so we will be back Monday. I mean, on the outside chance, because now it does look like a long shot that something's going to try to come up the East Coast for the middle part of next week. Unless that were to happen, and it would be something, if it would look like it was going to be something more than just a weak wave or so, we'd come back on Sunday night and we'll let you know about it. Because if you have your notifications on, you'll know that we have a show. So there you go. Welcome tonight to everybody on the chat board. Welcome to those of you lurking in the background on this Wednesday night Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. Our normal schedule is Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m., which we'll eventually get back to normal. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss us. And, of course, if you like the show, hit the like button. So I'm going to switch over to the watches and warnings. There's not a whole lot of them. What few there are in terms of watches and warnings are a stripe of flash flood watches in southeast Kansas into southwest Missouri, and northwest Arkansas. And then you've got much of the state of Idaho in flash flood warnings, as well as maybe about half the state of Nevada, and a couple of counties in Utah and a couple of counties in Washington state. The heat advisories and the extreme heat warnings have diminished considerably out in the west. But when you look at the map, I mean, just take those out. There's literally there's nothing going on from the standpoint of adverse weather or serious adverse weather up and down the eastern seaboard and back westward to about the Mississippi River.
The wet weather was the topic of discussion on the CBS Evening News tonight. Lonnie Quinn talking about that. I always choose the most outstanding weather. I'm waiting for the one night, Joe, where there's nothing happening from coast to coast. And then what do you
Well,
talk about?
okay, so I was watching the intro. I was watching ABC News tonight with David Muir. Hold on, let me come back full screen. Yes, full screen. He always, and I've said he's always sits with his shoulders out like this and his hands pointed in. When you watch him again, just watch through the whole show. He's like this. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm sure some consultant decided that he would look good if he, did that. So, Joe, he reads the teas about storms impacting millions of people this holiday weekend, and the extreme something to the effect of the uh, extreme autumn chill in the east and the Midwest. And then Lee Goldberg, who we know is an up and coming weather person in the New York metropolitan area, kind of said the opposite. I mean, he basically just said, "Well, it's kind of quiet across much of the country, except for a few places in Kansas and into Arkansas and Missouri." By the way, if I joke with Lee Goldberg because when we had him as a guest, so I sort of went into um, uh, super. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't. The passive aggressive. I went into super passive aggressive mode, and it was all in good fun. So, and he knows that we love him almost as much as we love our laundry, which, by the way, I have to take out of the dryer, by the way, because I did a load this morning. But yeah, I mean, they just write this stuff. And I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, okay, so obviously whoever wrote it didn't consult with what Lee was going to say on the other side of this, or maybe they did and they just decided to write it as as hyperbolic as they could. I mean, it doesn't stop.
Well, that had to happen to me a lot at News 12 Westchester. I mean, we had a major weather event. I was forecasting one thing, and they assigned a reporter to write about it like as a lead-in to the weather. And what the reporter was going to say basically was diametrically opposite to what I was going to say. And I went to the reporter later on. I said, "Didn't it ever occur to you that you might want to call and ask me what I was
Yeah.
saying, and what was going to happen?" It's "Oh, really?"
Yeah, I had unwritten rules when I worked at Pix and and at FiOS too. I just said, look, if you're going to put weather in a news block, just double check it with me, please, because you know as well as I do, especially if you go back a number of years, they'd run an AP story about weather and make it sound like it's going on right now when in fact it happened like 3 days ago. So, I always tried to stay on top of it and stay on top of whatever teases. And at least the producers always used to call me and just kind of say, okay, how do I write this? What should I say? Which is
Right,
which is totally fine. So
right.
I tried to keep that under control because you know what? It looks silly because it puts you in a box if somebody comes on and says, because they watched one of the other channels and then they write a lead in saying that a big snowstorm is headed our way, and then you have to come on and say, no. Yeah. So, I mean,
Oh,
that looks awful. Um, but anyway, we don't do that anymore, do we?
no, we don't. We don't have to.
No, we don't have to. Exactly correct. And we don't want to either. Not for somebody else, anyway. Certainly for us, but not for somebody else. So here's our satellite loop tonight. You still can see the obvious northwest flow. You can see the obvious cold front to the north. The dew points are still very low up and down the eastern seaboard. There's no real inflow of warm tropical air. The old frontal boundary lies out in the Atlantic and across the lower Gulf states, and it's basically trapping all the tropical air to the south. So because of that, this next front, I mean, it really is only going to be working on whatever energy it has. So in a sense, it's going to be moisture starved.
Well, we're coming to the end of August. I can't believe I'm saying that. And so far, I mean, the last week or 10 days, it's been magnificent up and down the eastern seaboard. I mean, we've had some amazing weather. I wish, we had this weather through June and July and into early August when we had all of that humidity. But it's just been wonderful. And it looks like, again, we're going to have ourselves a very nice final summer holiday weekend coming up. If you want to overlook the risk of maybe a passing shower or sprinkle on Friday.
By the way, Harold Olson and pointing out, and we, over the last number of years, there have been far more record highs being set than record lows. But last night, 115 weather stations recorded record loads for the date. And Joe, Atlanta had its coldest ever night in August. Lowest temperature for the month of August, 55
Double
this
nickels.
morning. Double nickels. Oh, I meant to tell you, by the way, I was driving home from Vogel State Park, which is about 5 miles from my house. And I think I saw it once before, but I guess I must have forgotten about it. And if I mentioned it once before, forgive me for mentioning it again. But as I'm passing, I pass by. There's a road that intersects the highway, Double Nickel Road.
Well, there you go,
I
Joe.
got to credit whoever. It's a private road too, so I got to credit whoever came up with that because it's and maybe I'll remember to stop on my way home the next time and get a picture. The monsoonal stuff is still going on in the west around the upper high, so you can see there's showers and storms across northeastern California in the Sierra Nevadas. A lot of lightning strikes there. Southeast Oregon into northern Nevada and Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, etc. A little bit of a break today in New Mexico, and in Arizona seems to be a little bit less. Everything is kind of shifted up to the north. All the flash flood watches that are up in Idaho and in Nevada, as we pointed out earlier. Meanwhile, we have some heavy rain, moderate to heavy rain, coming through southeastern Kansas into Missouri and Arkansas. So there's this narrow band of potential flash flooding there. And then, of course, you can see the arc of the showers here coming down from Canada into the upper peninsula of Michigan and into the upper portion of the lower peninsula of Michigan. That's our weather front uh, for Friday. But again, there's not. It just doesn't have much to work with. So you get through that, you get the wind shift, and the weekend looks great.
Absolutely. That front is expected to come through the tri state metropolitan area, probably sometime around, I would say, mid to late afternoon on Friday. And so maybe we'll just see a shower or two with it, and then it goes by, and then it dries out, and the high pressure builds in. And it's a nice fair weather ridge of high pressure that's going to be coming in from from the lower peninsula of Michigan Friday night, and will take its sweet time in moving on through and across our area during Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day Monday.
No severe thunderstorm watches are up anywhere across the United States, and the Storm Prediction Center has a small area of marginal risk in eastern Colorado and West Kansas, and another area in southern Minnesota. And then as we move on to tomorrow, there's a small area in southern Oklahoma and north central and extreme north central and northeast Texas. A little bit of general thunderstorm activity being indicated in western New York, western Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, northeastern Illinois, and into Michigan. And then on day three, two small areas of marginal risk, one on the Gulf Coast in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, the other in eastern Colorado and northeastern New Mexico. The folks at WPC, now this goes to through next Wednesday evening. So I don't know whether they have put this in with regards to whether I didn't read the discussion, so I don't know what their thinking is in the far longer range, but it's not, they're not showing very much. I mean, basically a tenth of an inch or less, maybe up to a quarter of an inch in some places. I don't know if they're indicating that maybe there might be some convection on Friday when the front goes by or not. I'm not sure. Either way, it's minimal. Northern Maine, half to three quarters. Parts of north central New York and western New York also a half to three quarters. Meanwhile, from the immediate coast of the Carolinas and then down through much of Florida, we're talking several inches or more over the next 7 days. And then westward across the Gulf states, northwestward through the lower Mississippi Valley and back up into parts of the Central Plains. Also, some elevated rainfall amounts in New Mexico and West Texas, into southwest Kansas and southeastern Colorado, a little bit less as you get up to the northern Rockies, and not really very much going on in the west. So the tropics are quiet. So we have it looks like we're going to go through the Labor Day holiday weekend and not have a tropical storm or hurricane running around. So here's our front. You can see that the rain that's moving through Kansas and Oklahoma and Arkansas moves southeastward down to the Gulf states. The front arrives uh, early Friday morning, couple of showers with that, and then goodbye. Uh, and then as we move into the weekend, it looks dry and on the coolish side across the Northeast, the Mid Atlantic, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes. The Gulf Coast is probably going to see areas of some showers and thunderstorms from time to time, but uh, that's just right along the immediate Gulf Coast and down to Florida. But again, not much happening. And then still going to see maybe some lower than normal pressures. So you can see there's a little closed low there east of Florida by the time we get to Tuesday night. But the GFS is lifting that out to the northeast, well to the south and east, because there's another front that's coming down out of Canada that's going to, at least the way the GFS sees it, they just kind of stay separate. One goes out, it gets pushed out to the east, and the front gradually sweeps into the eastern part of the United States with another big high for late next week and next weekend. Okay, so we're talking about the weekend of the 6th and 7th. So it looks like the cool pattern is going to hold at least until then. And when we look at the European today, the European Joe is still trying to show this idea of a little low forming off the southeast coast and kind of running up the eastern seaboard sometime on Wednesday. Although today's run wants to shove it out, to the south. Some of the overnight runs were trying to still take a low to the north, but now the 12Z run is kind of where the GFS is in sliding it out to the southeast, in which case we may not have much to worry about rain-wise until maybe next Thursday or Friday.
And just as a curiosity, I looked earlier today, and I'm looking again at Erin, or what's left of Erin. Erin is now an extratropical storm system, and believe it or not, she's still, fairly well put together. A storm system that 987 millibars, and it's located. It looks like it's just now getting ready to move in on the United Kingdom, England, and in fact, it may even make it all the way to England or Scotland, if you will, by the time we get to the end of this week. So it's still out there. It's still doing its thing in terms of providing significant cloud and rain showers. But it's not like our friend. How do you pronounce it? Not Ferdinand.
Fernand.
Fernand.
Yes.
All right. Well, that storm.
It's like Fernando without the O.
All
Fernand.
right. All right. Well, that storm is not expected to last very long. It probably will stay on the map as a tropical cyclone until tomorrow, and then it pretty well gets stripped of tropical characteristics and then fades out. But
Yes.
Aaron continues to maintain an identity of sorts, as it approaches now the other side of the big pond, Ireland and United Kingdom for later this week.
You know, it's so hard to get European satellites because they just don't have anything like the Weather Service has with the GOES satellites, with all these different sectors and so on. They put up you have to find a website that puts up a picture. That you can't find a loop. It's like once every 6 hours they put up a picture. It's like, what century are the people living in that you can't do that? But you know, I guess they don't make it a priority. Anyway, do you want to do Briller Jeopardy before we go?
Sure, I've got the questions tonight.
Okay, so let's get it done, and then we could wrap it up for the night.
Let me just get it. Hang on for a moment, ladies and gentlemen, and I will get it to you just in a matter of a few moments here. Switch now and go to. All right, here we go. We have on tonight's Briller Jeopardy, what tropical system, and this is one of those questions where, you really have to be on top of these things to, have an answer. What tropical system caused the most damage in dollar value? We did this last night. The most damage dollar value in each state, and we start off with Maine. What tropical system caused the most damage? And I think the last night, Joe, you had what? It went back to when? The 1990s or 80s?
Yeah,
Or
1990.
okay, well, I'm seeing these answers here. I'm going to make the assumption that it's again 1990 is the cutoff. But which tropical storm system in the state affected the state of Maine with the most damage in dollar value?
And this was in the last 30 years?
This goes back to 1990. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Um, I can't remember the last time a hurricane made landfall in Maine. Wait a minute, hold on. Wasn't there one? It did make landfall, but it came pretty close. Or maybe it did make landfall in the last 5 years. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I mean, did they get anything from Fiona?
Well, we have a lot of people on the chat board who have the answer already.
Oh, okay.
Correct
Well,
answer: Rich Rothmansky, Christiapedia, Frank R, Carol DeCera, Rick B, David Denell. I mean, all of you said Bob. Same for you, Frank Scalera, Bob, and that was the answer. 1991 Hurricane Bob, which did the most dollar damage to Maine.
okay.
This one should be easy, I think. Mississippi, the storm
Oh,
that did the
Mississippi. I mean, well, no, you said prior after 1990, correct?
correct,
All right. So I'm going to guess that that's Katrina. If it was prior to 1990, I would have said Camille.
and you were right, Katrina in 2005.
Yeah, the
Look up,
Mississippi Gulf Coast, when you just look at it on a map, it's not that many miles between New Orleans and the Alabama state line. So, well, the New Orleans is south of the lake, so you have to drive up to north on the other side of the lake, obviously. But in terms of east-west, I mean, it's really not that many miles at all from where New Orleans is. So, a
and in
landfalling
a few days
hurricane in New Orleans is a big deal for coastal Mississippi.
we'll have the 20th anniversary of Katrina. Hard to believe, all these years later,
Yep.
we're in 20th anniversary. How about North Carolina?
North Carolina. I want to say for North Carolina, I want to say Isabel. No?
No, no. In fact, I'm checking right now, Joe, um, because the way Scott had typed this out. Hang on for a second. Hurricane.
Well, unless it's well, Frank Scalera points out, unless it's now Helene from
I'm just
last year.
I'm just looking here. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Scott typed His fingers got screwy up here. 1999, North Carolina. He has hurricane fluid. That's how he pronounced it or spelled it.
I guess,
Fluid.
does he mean Floyd?
He meant Floyd. Yes.
Okay, Floyd. Okay, well, that's Floyd. What's the next one?
Number 4 on the list is Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania? Oh, God. If it was prior to 1990, I would have said Agnes. But,
Well, again, he's got 1992. It should be Scott 1972
oh, okay,
because he
so it
doesn't.
was Agnes.
It is. It's
Agnes.
Agnes. It's Agnes, but he's got
Agnes.
1992 for Agnes. That's what threw me here. All right, and then finally, South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. I'm going to go back to CWTR Shark with Well, it's either Hurricane Hazel or Hurricane Hugo.
And yeah, there you go.
Well, which one?
Hugo.
Oh, it was Hugo. Okay.
And that was 1989, yes.
Yeah, so Lou Arizio, David Daniel, Joe Gaffney, Rich Rothmansky, Carol DeChiara, William Uber, Frank R., all your saints who have done your will throughout the ages. They all got the correct answer. Is that the last one?
That's it. I don't think we have any bonuses. Oh, yeah. And Scott, I just seen it here. Scott, right after he sent this original list, he sent a second message. I didn't see it until now. Correction, number 3, North Carolina, Floyd.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to be off through Sunday unless something happens at the very last minute. Uh, any plans for the holiday weekend, Mr. Rayo?
I don't think so, but Monday is Mrs. Rayo and my 41st anniversary. So we might do something either Sunday or Monday for that.
Okay. But you will be here Monday night for the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast.
Monday night, we will definitely be here.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good. As long as you don't have a cast iron skillet waving over your head, you will be here. All right. So everybody, listen. Have a great next 4 days. Enjoy the holiday weekend, and we'll be back on Monday at 7:35. Good night.
Nighty night, folks.